What's going on, Chuckleheads? I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is the Dingo Talk Alumni Tour. My guest this week is Mike Bono, class of 2012. Mike's going to tell us everything about how he got to Bethany.
You wanna know by now. You wanna know by now. You wanna know by now. You wanna know. You wanna know. You want.
So as most of you can see, the first product that I ordered for my merch store, which merch linked in the bio, has arrived. It is the water bottle from Mike Bono, Stupid Shit Hurt water bottle. I got 3 of these with 3 different designs. That's just the one I ordered. Ordered it for my wife. She wants to see it. She can't wait. I'm super pumped to see her reaction when she gets home. I will try to post a video. She's not very keen on being on camera, so she's not like me. She's not personable. But go to the link in the bio. Let everybody know. Stupid Shit Hurt. Get yours today. Gonna be awesome. Again, 10% off with the promo code SSH2021.
What's going on, Chuckleheads? I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is the Dingo Talk Alumni Tour. My guest this week is Mike Bono, class of 2012, and for a long time, Brooke County native. So it's kind of we're going to jump right into that. Basically, Bono, so you grew up in Fallensby.
Yes, sir.
Went to Brooke High School. Why Bethany on the way in?
Honestly, Bethany wasn't one of my first choices. I was an athlete at Brooke. I played football and swam at Brooke and had an unfortunate injury my senior year of football. Kept me out of swimming, but Bethany kept their scholarship for me to swim there. So I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to swim. I wanted to keep swimming. So Bethany was the choice to go there, and it was 20 minutes away from home. So it was convenient too as well.
So you get to Bethany, you're going to swim. How does swimming go? How does that? What's the difference between high school swimming and college swimming for those that aren't involved?
So much. There's a complete culture shock going from high school sports to college sports. I was not prepared for it. I had done my physical therapy so that I could participate freshman and sophomore year. But did not keep myself in shape enough, but just the sheer grind of it, I would say, because coming from Brooke, we swam and practiced probably 23 to 3,100 yards a day, which sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
To most people, but that's a basic practice for most people. I went to Bethany and we were swimming anywhere from 4,500 to 6,100 yards a day. And I was a sprinter, so that type of yardage was not in my wheelhouse at all. I had swam, the highest event that I could swim was 200, which is 8 laps in a typical pool, 25-yard pool. So it was just the grind of it wasn't what I expected. I hit it full force though, but the 2-a-days come January was something that I was not ready for at all, because as most of them know, Bethany has their J term or January term. For select students, most freshmen have to do it, I believe, still.
That's one of the programs that they've for the time being has been let go. So
Get out of here.
A lot of people that be listening to this, if they were current students, they would have no idea what you're talking. There was a term in January,
yeah, there was a term in January that,
and it was a time.
It was a time, yeah. It was fun because there wasn't that many people on campus. Not a lot of people took J term, but all athletes, winter sports athletes, had to be there at J term. So we were in the water at like 6 a.m. Like we were in the water, which that water, for most people that don't swim competitively or in a lap pool, that water is anywhere from 68 to 74 degrees. That's very cold for pool water. And, just being in there at 6 a.m., then we had our team breakfast. We got a little bit of downtime. Then we were back in the weight room at 12 o'clock till 1, and then from 1 to 3 back in the pool. It kept me busy. It was a grind, yeah, but it kept me busy, which was probably a good thing for a college athlete. Having a set schedule is where I got to be certain times of the day. So it was fun. I mean, I had a lot of fun. Again, an unfortunate injury kept me from swimming all 4 years, but I had fun while I was at it.
So you talked about the athletic side and the transition from high school to college. What was the academics like when you coming from Brook and then coming into Bethany as a student?
Coming from Brook to Bethany, it was, I don't want to say eerily similar, because college classes can be, they're a little bit more difficult than high school classes, obviously, but the class sizes was what really helped. I mean, I went to Brook, there was maybe 25, 30 kids in a class, which is typical for Bethany, at least when we were there. So the class sizes and having that one-on-one, your professors actually know your name and not your student 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 4. Like, it's
You're Bono, you're Carlo, you're
they knew me as Bono, which was awesome, because it's not my real name. A lot of people don't know that my actual name is Michael Bonaventura, so I go by Mike Bono for obvious reasons. So it was just it was nice to see that and have that personal connection with professors who I'm still friends with on Facebook with a lot of them, and they're commenting on my stuff every time. I'm sorry, dogs.
It's part of it.
Welcome
part
to
of this
my
Zoom adventure.
Here's the thing. Like, every time I'm on my computer or I'm doing something that has to be recorded or anything like that, this dog just decides I want to be on air and I want to be on, and he starts barking his head off. And he's deaf, so I can't yell at him. So he can't hear me. So it's not like people are like, well, why don't you yell at your dog? He can't hear me. He's
not gonna hear me. So in the sense, you were, for those that don't know, you studied communications.
Yes.
What was that like? Because that time that you're at Bethany, we overlap for 2 years, but it's the beginning of the revamp of the comm department. I mean, the TV studio gets a whole renovation, the radio station, the tower. I mean, there's a lot of things going on at that point.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I actually had the track of sports journalism under the communications umbrella, and revamping the TV station. I was one of the ones who was, helping getting the studio ready, helping, making sure the cameras worked and stuff like that. I was editing stuff that was going out on the internet. And the radio is really where I had a lot of fun. I was the sports director of the radio station for a year. I got to announce every home sporting event, football, basketball, baseball, softball. They even had lacrosse, was just getting started when I was doing that. So that was a lot of fun. I actually got to announce the PAC soccer championships, which was a big thing for me, which was really fun. I was sitting up at what was his name? Coach Z, his house on his back deck in February, all bundled up because we were outside, but it was fun looking over the whole field. And it was an experience. And rode for the tower for a semester. They gave me the beat of the food on campus, so any story, you should. It was a tough beat, I'll tell you. That's
a rough one to take on in that time frame.
At that time frame, yeah.
Chicken Patty Wednesday was about the only hot topic you could have written about.
That was my best story, Chicken Patty Wednesday. But just going around and talking to all the employees that were there, that worked in the food at it was Moreland at the time. I think it's the Bethany Beanery now, or if that's changed, I don't know.
Hub. It's the Hub.
The Hub. Yeah. So and Boomers was there. I don't, again, probably not the name of it now, but
no, it's non-existent now. It's not there. It's gone.
Existent. That was the place to be, though, to eat. I'll tell you that. I mean,
nobody went to the calf. Points
I
and
avoided the
boomers.
cafeteria. It was boomers. I'm going to boomers. What do you guys want? But Wednesday was the only day I went to the cafeteria. It was Chicken Patty Wednesday. I knew I'm using my meal pass today for that. I'll tell you, a lot of my meal points went to coffee. That was a big thing at the hub now, or at the time it was
the Bain and Moreland and
Moreland and the Bethany Beanery, and it was a lot of fun, but it was a difficult beat. I'll tell you that.
So on the social side, there was obviously an establishment in town that's no longer existent, and you were a member of a fraternity on campus.
Yes, Delta Tau Delta.
Why did you go Greek, and why was Delt where you ended up?
Why I went Greek, you know what? To this day, I'm really I fought it. My freshman year, I'm not joining the house. I'm not joining. No, I don't want to be Greek. I'd seen all the movies, the Animal Houses. It's like I just want to do my 4 years, get my degree, and get out. I ended up doing 5 years, so I did a victory lap. So it's
we've all taken one or two.
Yeah, but I had a lot of friends from high school that I'd played football with that were there. I'd seen them in the cafeteria, and they came up to me like, "Hey, you going Greek?" And it's like sophomore year, and I was like, I don't think it's for me. They're like, "What? You partied with us all the time in high school?" I was like, "It's high school. This is college. I mean, I get it. I mean," I was like, "You know what? Fine, I'll check it out." And went up to a couple of the houses. Delt was really the one that just kind of felt like home, and like I could be myself there. A lot of crazy guys at that time. A lot of fun had at that time. But we still got down to business when it happened. I mean, for everyone who's not Greek or not wanting to join a Greek house, it's not Animal House. I mean, yes, we have our parties. That's call it what it is. It's college. You're going to have your parties. You're going to have your fun. But it was really that they dove into a lot of the philanthropy events and getting that out there. When I started, it was Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Okay.
And I thought that was cool to go and hang out with the kids and just, give them something to do and feel like, they're important. And then for whatever reason that got shut down and it went to Bleed Purple. So that was helping out that too as well. And then we partnered with the Zetas for their breast cancer awareness. And I don't know if they still do this, but I know at that time I was the head of the philanthropy department, and we had a chicken cookout, and I called it Eat a Breast, Save a Chest. And that, I mean, for years, I know that had ran, and like people loved it. It was just a catchy name, something that was fun. And all the houses came up and joined and participated. So it was, that's what really made me want to go Greek, and, seeing all the good that they can do, and wow, still having fun.
And on the topic of having fun, there, like I brought up earlier, there was that building that is across the street from where I live. Any stories that you would like to tell that you can remember or that are air appropriate, I guess?
There's so many that run through my head right now. I know one. It's kind of funny. It's real quick. I mean, we were at the establishment. We had our fun. It was last call. I decided I'm going to walk home. And yes, people, I walked home. I didn't drive home.
We all walked home.
We all walked home. But I was leaving, and there was that little lip, like right, that step down right to the outside. Well, I may have had a little bit too much fun that night, and there was a Bethany PD standing right in front of the door. And at this time, we'll say I was close to of age. Give
or take a day or two. It was
a couple hours, and I was, but I had tripped and I had lost my balance, and my face hit him right smack dab in the middle of his chest. And he kind of caught me and held me up. And I was like, whoa. And he goes, yeah, I went, watch that step, man. Someone's going to get hurt. Patted him on the shoulder and just walked away as fast as I possibly could.
And for those of you that don't understand, that might sound like a very awkward story to somebody that went to Pitt, WVU, Penn State, or any big school where if you bumped into a cop, you're probably getting at least a citation.
Yeah.
In Bethany, they were just happy that we were walking home.
Yeah. He was really just, I think he stared me down, made sure I didn't get in the car or anything like that. But I hoofed it home, and I was at the far end of campus. It's the drunk path, as we used to call it, to get home.
Drunk path that, for being a drunk path, was not the safest of all the routes you could take.
That was the worst route to take.
Like, people would go, "Are you going to go the drunk path?" No, I choose life today. Like, I'm cool.
I'll take my chances on this big hill right here. I don't.
But so that's a good place. We're going to take a pause. I have to send it to KJ Karen Dunn with Maple Shades Outdoors. You go on to Instagram, it's maple_shade.outdoors, or you can follow them on YouTube after you hit like and subscribe to this channel and video. And also, Mike, if you want to soft plug for Spotify and the Rush Hour Rants.
Yeah, it's the Ride Home Rants, my podcast that I've started back in December. It has grown more than I expected. We just hit over 1,000 downloads yesterday, actually. And it's a show started with me on my daily ride home from work, just complaining about my day. Just anything that got under my skin or anything like that. But you can find it not only on Spotify, you can find it on Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, or you can find it at the website ridehomerants.buzzsprout.com. And from there, you can, if you have a favorite platform, you can go right onto that platform from there. But we got some guests, pretty good big guests that have been on the show. We just interviewed former NFL quarterback Ricky Stanzi. So that's a big show. That's one. And we got a couple good ones coming up that are already in the works. So check it out and hook your brother up with a download.
Also, look out for the merch, because he may or may not be drinking from the merch.
No, yeah, it's not like this is the Mike Bono Stupid Should Hurt merch line that is out. stupidshouldhurt.myshopify.com. Just started, and I gotta say, I'm loving the water bottles for sure.
Well, this has been Mike Bono. I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is the Dingo Talk Alumni Tour. We'll be back for Bono to tell us how comps went, more about Mike Bono, the comedian, and how did he get to there. But we'll be right back. Go ahead, KJ.
What's going on, everybody? This is Kieran Dunn, founder of Maple Shade Outdoors. You're currently watching Dingo Talk with my man Carlo. If you're anything like me and you're really enjoying this content, you should like and subscribe his page. While you're on YouTube, you should probably just head over and like and subscribe Maple Shade Outdoors. Check out our page, enjoy some videos, some outdoor content. You might as well hop on Instagram, Facebook, follow us, Maple Shade Outdoors. Now that's enough about me. I'm trying to get back and watch the rest of Dingo Talk, so I'll talk to y'all later.
What's up, everybody? So it's Wednesday. It's Ride Home Rants podcast day. Go there, check it out. Got a great episode. I brought my man Fitty Falcone back to the show, manager of the podcast. Big sports episode. We go into a lot. We talk about a lot. So go there. It's ridehomerants.buzzsprout.com. You can check it out there. Also, I got a link on my website, brand new website, MikeBonoComedy.com. You can find it there too as well. Also, on my website, I do have a list of shows. Well, I only have one show lined up right now. But this Saturday, April the 10th, 3 days, Latonia, Ohio at the Tipsy Cow. 16 comics on the slate. Everybody come out and support us. It's going to be a great time.
What's going on, Chuckleheads? I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is the Dingo Talk Alumni Tour. My guest this week is Mike Bono, class of 2012. We covered everything that you could do during Mike's time here at Bethany for the most part. I think we kept it pretty PG. Now we're going to talk about that damn test that connects all of us together. Were you a winner or a spring?
I was a spring.
So you got the 1 week to just be on campus but study.
Yeah.
So what was studying like for communication comps back then?
It was hectic. That 1 week, luckily I had a couple of buddies of mine. He's been on the show, David Hartman. Me and him went to Brook together, so we played football together. He actually lived right behind my parents' house, so I'd grown up with this man. So we had went down to Beta and then into the library, and we crammed. We grabbed as many people as we knew at the time that would want to study with us, and we all kind of just put our heads together and studied. A lot of flashcards. And this was before technology really is where it is today. So it was actual physical cards that you were flipping through and trying. And then the girl I was dating at the time every night would just grab the flashcards, and then she would just randomly start asking me questions. And it helped. Obviously, I passed, thank God. It was because I'll tell you what, you don't become a comedian when you're book smart. I'll tell you that much right off the rip. But it was a good time to actually, because me and Dave Hartman, we both kind of went our separate ways when we went to college. He went Beta, I went Delt. For those of you who know, those two are rival houses, and I think they still are. I'm pretty sure that's never going to die. So we kind of went our separate ways, but then we realized, what are we doing? We've been friends for decades. Why are we just
now not gonna?
Yeah, now we're just, okay, you're there, I'm here, see it. No, it's we came together, and a bunch of us sat down and cranked it out. I mean, I studied probably 4 or 5 hours a day for a week for this test. I mean, this test is no joke for those of you who are current students. I mean, don't take it lightly, like most people will. But it's a good test. It really lets you know what you know and what you don't know.
So the feeling when you get told you passed comps, for those who don't know, there's 2 sections. You had 2 days of writing, and then you have to wait. For most people, you have to wait a little bit. And then you go into an hour-long discussion with a panel. Do you remember anybody that was on your panel?
I remember everybody that was on my panel. Dr. Sutherland, Professor Emmy Gamble, and it was an accounting professor. What the hell was his name? Can't think of his name. I know I could see his face. I can't think of his name, but I mean, I remember talking to them. He was the one who actually hit me with the hardest questions while we were in there. One, I'm still not sure to this day was a legit question or if it was a trick question. Because he asked me, he was like, all right, you want to go the sports route. So let's say you're not supposed to announce a game, but the guy who was supposed to gets hurt, something, he can't do it. Now you have to fill in. I was like, all right. He goes, where's the first place you're going? I was like, it's the first place I'm going as in like to work, or like, I don't understand what you need. I need more to that question. I'm sorry. That's a very loaded question. And he goes, game starts in 4 hours. And who's the first person you're talking to? I was like, all right, well, I mean, first person I'd probably talk to would be the coaches, get the rosters. So I didn't sound like an idiot. He goes, they're not available. Okay, I'd see who the referees were for the event. I'd probably go to them and see if they have any information. They're not available either. All right. I would go to the athletic directors, or, if this is college, high school, I would go to somebody in charge of the athletics of both schools, see what's going on. they're not available. I went, I don't know what you want from me here. I really don't. I mean,
They
I don't
want you to
understand.
like stalk somebody outside the locker room, like you're knocking on doors, like
I don't, he never elaborated as to where I should go. To this day, I still don't know the answer to this question and if I got it right or not. I mean, I went through every avenue that you could possibly think of. And I was just like, I don't know. I literally looked at him and like broke all professional protocol that I was in there. I had my suit and tie on. I was sitting straight and I just slumped over. Like, I don't know what you want from me. Like, I don't know. I'm trying my best, man. My stress level is through the roof right now. Like, can we just, that was supposed to be an easy question. Oh, this is going to be a long hour.
so you get through the hour. What is the feeling when you walk out to your group?
It was the biggest euphoric moment I had ever had because Emmy Gamble, me and her were pretty close. She was my advisor. So most don't know, they send you out of the room after that hour, make you sit, and then they deliberate on whether you passed or not. And I'm freaking out at this point because I'm like, this should not be taking this long. It felt like it was another hour. It was probably 5 minutes, but at that time I was like, this should not be taking this long. Oh no, I'm coming back for a 6th year to take this test again. And they call me back in the room. Amy Gamble looks at me. She goes, you might want to sit down. I was like, oh no. So I sit down and she goes, well, you know, you were kind of right on that edge. I mean, you were close, and I'm sorry to say this, but congratulations, you passed. I shot out of my seat, and like everything was like, oh, I should punch you in the face for that, like, because that was the scariest moment of my life. Like, why would you do that to me? Hugged everybody in there, and even Virgil Thompson, that was his name. I knew it would come to me. He was not a touchy-feely kind of guy, and I wrapped him up in a big old bear hug and just walked out. All my brothers were there. All my friends were there. It was great. Everybody was cheering. They had some adult beverages for me waiting, which was much needed at that point in time because it was going from the scariest moment to holy crap, I just graduated college. Like, this is where it is. This is it. Like, it was insane.
And from there, what was the next move?
The next move from there, you know, really tried to think about where I wanted to go with my life and career. But I also needed a job because bills and student loans weren't going to stop just because I graduated and it's only been a month. And so started applying around, got on, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, you know, all those sites. I found a job at a local radio station, 106.3 The River. Worked there, did a little bit. I had my own show on Saturday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m., which at the time was nice because I did get a full-time job at Verizon Wireless at that time too, so I could pre-record my show the night before. And it was a very weird experience driving into work and listening to myself on the radio. It was just, hey, that's me. Like, it was a weird experience, but and I started working in sales, and the hours at sales just wouldn't allow me to work at the radio station anymore. So had to say bye to them because, I mean, the radio was only part-time. So I was only getting like 10, 12, maybe 20 hours a week at best. So wasn't going to pay the bills. So went where the money was. And from there, you know, moved around a little, not moved around, but moved jobs a little bit, went from Verizon to AT&T. From there, I became a manager at AT&T in their St. Clairsville location for about 3 years. From there, then met my now wife, decided she was making more money than I was. Stay-at-home dad was kind of where I needed to be. She had a son who's now my stepson, and took care of him for a little bit, and then realized I need to do something. I love playing with the little man all day and playing video games and Legos and all that. That's all fun and dandy, but got to do something. So then I went and managed in Anytime Fitness in Steubenville. Did that for a little while, and then in there is when I really got started into comedy.
Okay.
Former fraternity brother Tom Nelson. Everybody knows Tom Danger Nelson. He was doing comedy shows. He was doing comedy himself, and he had a show at a local bar in Steubenville, and he had asked me to come watch a couple times, and I did, and it was fun. And then one time it was like the show there was starting to really take off. He could actually start paying some of the comedians that were coming there, and he calls me like 3 days before the show, and he was like, "Hey, I have a very serious question for you." I was like, "Okay, you're never serious, so let's see where this is going." And he goes, "I had a comedian drop out. It's going to ruin the entire show. I'll have to give back the cover charge because we won't be able to do it. The bar's going to lose money. We're going to lose money. Will you go on stage?" I was like, and this show's in 3 days. He was like, "Yeah, just you'd be helping me out, man. You don't even have to be funny. Just go up and plug 15 to 20 minutes. That's all I need from you." I was like, "You know what, for you? Yeah, man, I'll do it." He goes, "Cool. I'll write all your jokes." I went, "No." And he goes, "What?" I went, "If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to write my jokes. I'll go up. If I bomb, I bomb. I'm not really doing this." Well, show up to the bar about an hour before he even needs to get there to set up. So I'm super early. Decided that the nerves were a little too much, needed to get more liquid courage in me. And so he's going through the running order. He was like, "All right, so we're going to put you on first because let's face it, you're probably going to bomb." It's like, "Okay, first time, I get it." Yeah. He goes, "And then we'll come in and we'll save the show." I was like, "Cool, let's do it." Well, as fate have it, I went up and I absolutely killed the room. Like, just laughter everywhere. And that feeling on stage of hearing people laugh and having a good time, and it stuck with me. And I was like, I could see me doing this. I mean, I like to, everyone used to say I'm a pretty funny guy. I like to think I am. I'd done some open mics and stuff at Bethany and all that, and just to fill some time and help some people out there. And so the best thing about that show is, well, not the best thing, but for me, it was the best thing. But every other comic that went on after me bombed because I was that funny. And the funniest thing all of them said was, "Who put this running order together?" I mean, Bono comes up, it's his first time ever on stage, and he absolutely kills the room. And now I'm not funny because he is hilarious, apparently. And like, it was just, that was the funniest thing they all said. And coming up on 9 years later, I'm still doing comedy to this day.
So how did last year, I mean, obviously you started your podcast, but how did last year affect you as a comedian, because you weren't able to go on stage and be in front of people?
Absolutely crushed it. I mean, it killed all the momentum I had built up for the past 8 years, well, 7 years at that time. Didn't tell a lot of people this, but I was actually in talks with a low budget agent who was about to sign me to their label and really kick my comedy career off. And then COVID hit, and he was like, "Look, you're really an up and comer. You don't have a lot of credits. Your online presence isn't that great, but we just can't take the risk now that everything's shutting down." And at the time I was like, I mean, I get it, but I mean, you were gung-ho 3 days ago, like about to send me over the paperwork to sign everything because you're in Georgia, but whatever.
Yeah.
Now and that's when he said, "You know what, build up your online presence and maybe we'll talk when all this is over." So a couple months later, turned to the Ride Home Rants podcast. That is really one of the main reasons I had started the show. But it's a lot of fun. And for me, I'm more of a numbers guy because I played sports my entire life. And going on the site and seeing how many people have downloaded the shows, how many people are listening to the shows and where they're at. I mean, for my show, I mean, it's like I said, it's blown up. It's in 16 different countries and over 270 cities in those countries. That's where it's heard at right now. So to have that kind of success in a short amount of time, I really want to call this guy, and just the ego in me be like, yeah, couldn't take a risk on me, huh? I mean, I'm heard worldwide now, buddy. But I'm not. I'm gonna humble myself and not do that. But that's kind of the start of the podcast too, as well.
So we've come to that point. I'm gonna ask you one more question. I'm gonna give you one more chance to plug everything, and then we'll send it to the staple of Bethany, the town, Chambers General Store. So my last question is, if you're talking to somebody right now, Brook High School kid, Pennsylvania high school kid in one of the 16 other countries that hear you worldwide, why Bethany?
Why Bethany? I mean, I would just say the personal connection you make with everybody on campus. Everybody there. I think when we were there, it was only like 900 students that went to the college, roughly, give or take.
Yeah.
But it was around that number. It's a very small, tight-knit community of people who you're going to see every day. You're going to have classes with these people. You might be in some clubs with these people. You might become brothers or sisters with these people in the Greek housing. But along with that is, like I said earlier, is just the connection you make with your professors, having that one-on-one time with them and them actually knowing your name or nicknames, as they all know me as Mike Bono, which is great. It's still
it does help. It does help.
It does, because I mean, I still remember even to this day, fraternity alumni came back, and it was during Greek Sing, and he came up and shook his hand. I was like, "Hi, I'm Michael Bonaventura," and my brothers go, "Who the hell is Michael Bonaventura?" Went, "That's my actual name, guys. I am not.
I have one of those. I have a real name.
An actual name. It's not Bono. My name is. I'm not the lead singer from U2. That's not who I am. But yeah, that's my actual name. They didn't know my actual name, which still makes me laugh.
I didn't know your actual name until after you graduated.
Yeah.
Everybody would go, "Mike's here," and I would go, "No, Bono's here."
No, Bono's here. It's not Mike.
Bono? No, that's Mike. No, it's not.
No, it's
Mike,
not.
Big Mike, maybe, but Bono? No, Bono's Bono.
Bono, it's always Bono. But yeah, the connection that you make with everybody, and you hold on to those long after you graduate. I mean, I still, like I said, I follow all my professors on social media. They still every now and again will comment on a lot of my stuff. You keep that connection with them, and I know I could pick up the phone and call them anytime and they'll answer. So that would be my one thing, going there and having that personal connection, and it will definitely help.
And lastly, before we send it to Harry Chambers, give us the rundown on where we can find you and what's coming up in your near future.
Okay. So coming up in the near future, I'm working on a couple show dates. I don't have them set in stone yet. I'm still working with the booking agent there to get some more shows. But you will see all those on my website, MikeBonoComedy.com. From there, you can get a link right to my podcast, the Ride Home Rants podcast. Like I said, heard on Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. It's everywhere. There's so many, I can't even name all of them. And with that, there are links on all of them to my merch store. I'll even put it up here if the background will allow me here. It is the Mike Bono Stupid Should Hurt merchandise line. Where that came from, it is actually a tagline in one of my main jokes as a comedian. I say that, the stupid questions that you get on a daily basis, and I think stupid should hurt the person who's asking the questions. So that is where that comes from. And stupid should hurt. As of right now, the store did just get up and running a couple days ago. So I am offering 10% off your first purchase with the promo code SSH2021. You can go there. The entire store is wide open. So whatever you purchase, type in that promo code. I'll take 10% off your entire first purchase. You can find me on all my social media. I'm pretty bland, and most of it is at Mike Bono Comedy. Don't
type in Mike Bonaventura. It's Mike Bono.
Yeah, Mike Bono Comedy. You'll find my fan page, my Instagram, my Twitter. My TikTok is the only one that's different, and it's not that different. It's Mike Bono and the number 2. So yeah, you can find me there. And if I'm coming to a show in a town near you, please come out and support some live comedy. We need to get back to this. I know the pandemic hurt a lot of people and a lot of comedians and a lot of entertainers. So come out and support us. We'd really appreciate it. And plus, there's a 99.9% chance we're going to make you laugh.
And if Bono's headlining, don't worry about watching the rest of them, because it's just not. Bono, thank you for being on the show. I am Carlo Guadagnino. This is the Dingo Talk Alumni Tour, class of 2012. Michael Bonaventura, but for these purposes, it's Mike Bono. We have to send it to Harry Chambers, because if Chambers doesn't have it, you don't need it. You can still buy those shirts at Chambers. You can either go to their Facebook page, or you can come to Bethany and stop at the store and purchase something. They're currently out of the Shroom Capital of the World shirts, the second run of them, but they are getting a third run of those somewhere around homecoming, maybe. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. But this has been the Alumni Tour. I am Carlo Guadagnino. Harry Chambers, take it away.
You've just watched another exciting episode of Dingo Talk, recorded in the secret lair deep in the hills of Bethany, West Virginia. Let me give a shout out to my man Don over at Maple Shade Outdoor. He's got some great stuff going on over there on YouTube and Instagram. Please make sure you check him out. Also, now available as promised, we have the second edition Bethany, West Virginia Mushroom Capital of the World t-shirts and our Chambers General Store. If we don't have it, you don't need it t-shirts. Available in all sizes. So make sure you stop by the store for a t-shirt, breakfast sandwich, or sausage biscuits and gravy, and make sure to check out those daily lunch specials. Now back to you, Dingo.
So I wanted to get it out there. I got 4 shows lined up for the month of August right now. I got one this Friday in Salem, Ohio. I got one Sunday, the 8th, at Maslin, Ohio, in the Crackpots Comedy Club. Brand new comedy club just opened up in Maslin, Ohio. It's going to be a fun time there. Then I head to Akron on the 19th, doing the roast show. And then I am back in my favorite spot so far in Ohio is Latonia, Ohio, back at the Tipsy Cow. I love that show. I love that bar. I love everybody there. It's a great time. So if you're in those areas, you should come out and support some live comedy. If you're not, make the trip. It's going to be well worth it. There's a lot of great comics on the slate. We're going to keep it funny, as always.
You wanna know by now.